DraftKings has Justin Gaethje as the underdog. Does that surprise you? I just want to know if that surprises you, considering Fiziev is taking this on short notice. And historically speaking, with short notice fights, that's not usually a good thing. Not to mention, while Gaethje's also accepted Fiziev on short notice, Gaethje was certainly getting ready for war. I mean, we can all admit that Dan Hooker was going to be a brutal affair. So, I mean, is it really short notice for Gaethje? We got to give him some credit. He's also adapting. But wouldn't we think that's the more advantageous of the spot? Because these guys have already fought. This is a rematch. Did something happen since the first fight where you conclude that Fiziev is better? Did something happen since the first fight where you conclude that Gaethje is not as good? It's a little bit of a complex problem. Now, there's a rule in boxing, and it is an absolute. It's very true in MMA, but very true versus you will not find a single exception. If two guys in boxing fight, if they're to rematch, the younger guy, if he won the first time, will win the second time, only faster. That's the rule. Now, Gaethje, contrary to maybe what your mind tells you, is older than Fiziev. And historically speaking, particularly with DraftKings, they will look at age and they will see that as a benefit to the more youthful guy. Is that what happened here? Is that all that happened here? Or did DraftKings take a look at that, decide that the younger Fiziev is more on his way up in Gaethje, and not take into account they've already fought? That's the part I'm having a hard time getting around. I don't know who's going to win with Fiziev and Gaethje. I'm not strong and bullish on it, and I see that as an awesome fight. I can just tell you, it's a rematch. And the guy that came in short the first time is now doing a job last minute as a fill-in. And I cannot remember a time ever in MMA history where that guy that I just described was the betting favorite. Now, when I tell you I can't disagree with it, I'm surprised, but I really can't disagree with it. Like, if I was to go back in time to that night in London that was Gaethje versus Fiziev the first time, I thought Fiziev was going to beat him. I just thought too many things were, the wind was really at the back of Fiziev. There was a real wind in the face of Justin Gaethje, or at least it appeared. And then every fighter is going to get asked that same question. How bad do I want to do this? Not how much did I want it? Not how much in my life would have I walked through fire to get there? How much right now do I want to do it? And when I put myself in Gaethje's position, it would be very fair for me to ask myself, why? The first time he fought Fiziev, why does he want to do it? Why does he want to go into that kind of a fight? There's not a title. It's not even an elimination. It's not a title contenders match. There's none of those things that were apiece. So why? And Gaethje had that why, whatever it was, but he was able to answer that question. And he was able to beat him. And it was a very honorable thing. But as the years go by, someone, even as great as Justin Gaethje, does not get better as we move forward. Nobody does. The only guys that get better is by doing this is that they're a real weird age range. It has nothing to do with experience. If they're in that age range of 18 to 23, 24, they will get better at this by the time they're closer to 29 and 30 years old. That's true, but it has nothing to do with experience. So when you are Justin Gaethje, who did beat Fiziev, Justin Gaethje's only made one statement about this, and it was on Twitter, and he just said, that's a very risky move by me to accept an opponent that's as good of a striker as Fiziev on short notice. Life's a trip. Boom. Put out the message. So what do you want to gather from that? What do you want to do with that? Because the odds makers looked at that, and they thought that it was a bit of a concession. They either looked at that and thought it was a bit of a concession, or my own partners over at DraftKings don't realize this is a rematch. And between those two probable options, I'm leaning towards the latter. I don't think the MMA community realizes they've already fought once.